Hi there, and welcome back to this episode. So, this is a bonus podcast for you of the series of It Is Time to Thrive. And I couldn't not allow myself to do this podcast for you because I'm all about adding value. I'm all about, giving you extra content, extra insights and strategies that I know that are going to absolutely help you transform and thrive in your life right now. So think of it as you've got all the ingredients to your cake. So that was your episodes 1, 2, and 3. Now this is the icing on the cake. So hold on tight because this is going to be life changing for you. You're going to have so many insights. So make sure you've got a pen and paper to hand because you are absolutely going to freaking need it. So in this bonus podcast episode, I kind of just want to, really run through the things that obviously we've spoken about what's currently stopping you, but I think it's really important that everybody is going to face fear at some point. Everybody that is listening to this podcast, myself included, have always got things that we've been putting off, we've been procrastinating it about, and we allow the fear to take over our lives. And this is the reason why I wanted to do this little quick insight, this little quick strategy for you, because when we can understand what is actually going on, which is what we were discovering about, in episode 1 and 2 about fear, when we can understand that and we can start putting a strategy in place, that's when the game changes. So be honest with yourself. How many of you right now are actually putting off something that you know that you should be doing that is going to absolutely, completely change your life? Be honest with yourself because honesty, honestly, is the first start of awareness because when you can become aware of it, that's when you can change things. And if you're not honest with yourself, then you're not going to ever be able to change the way that you see things, and you're not going to be able to change the way that you show up, and you're not going to be able to thrive. So, this is an absolute game changer. And when I realized this, this little strategy, and I've even done it on myself just before recording this podcast because as well, I'm one of these coaches that doesn't just talk the talk, I do the walk as well. I would never ever teach anybody, any of my clients, anybody listening to this podcast, anything that I honestly did not think that would work or anything that I'm not prepared to do myself. So I wanted to make sure that, what I'm teaching is absolutely 100% effective. So I want to introduce you to a little hack that I've learned to do, and it's around to do with anything that you're worrying about, anything that you've got anxiety about, anything that, you're stopping yourself from doing. And it really, once you can get things down on paper, it's honestly, it's like your brain has the information in front of you so it can actually process the information. Because I know personally for myself, I've always, we've all been there, haven't we? Like something comes up. So, say for example, there's a job promotion going on at work and you're hesitant about applying, for example. And it's so easy to get stuck and trapped in there. But yet we know deep down that we are capable. We can be capable of doing that job promotion. We've got it. We've been doing the job. So what is it that actually stops us from saying, okay, give me the application form and let's apply? Or what is it that stops you from, you filled in the application form, but then you stop yourself from handing it in? Or what is it about you've been given an interview and all of a sudden, before the interview is about to begin, you absolutely completely freeze and you think, oh shit, I haven't got this, I can't do this, get me out of here. Well, it's fear, it's anxiety, it's the fear of the unknown. So, this hack, honestly, is going to be a game changer for you because when you can see it written down in front of you, this is where the game is going to change. So, what I want you to do is I want you to get a piece of paper. So, obviously, if you're driving whilst you listen to this, then you're going to have to pause this and then come back to it. So we're about 4 minutes 40 into the audio for those of you that are driving. But what I want you to do, at the top of a piece of paper, I want you to write down something that you're currently putting off. Something that, is holding you back. something that you know that you should be doing, but you're not doing it. Okay? And then once you've done that, so say for example, let's go back to the job promotion. Okay, so this is the example. So you're not applying yourself to apply for that job promotion. And what I want you to do, so this is the example. So then what I want you to do is I want you to split your piece of paper into 3 columns. And at the top of the first column, you're going to have the worst outcome. In the second column, you're going to have the neutral outcome. And then in the third column, you're going to have the best, or / positive outcome. And you can probably see where I'm going to go with this. So in the first column, I want you to write down, if you was to do whatever it is that you are putting off. So for example, in this one is we're going to go for that job promotion. What is the worst possible outcome that could happen for that? So let's just play this out together. So for me, if my example was going to be that I was going to go for this job promotion, the worst outcome for me would be maybe I make a fool of myself in the interview. Maybe it's I stumble upon my words. Maybe I just think that I'm going to break down and start crying. Maybe I'm going to think that my skirt is tucked into my knickers, for example. And just allow that, the worst case scenario to really play out, because at the end of that, it possibly could be that I don't even get the job. Then I think that I'm a failure. And then as a result, I might binge eat. So really play that out. And then once you've done that, we're going to come to the neutral outcome. So the neutral outcome for this example would be that I do okay in the interview. I come across quite confident. I don't forget what I'm going to say. I don't freeze. But then the neutral outcome could be, but I still don't get the job. Okay, so you can see the difference in both of those. And then obviously for the positive best outcome, it would be, well, I absolutely smashed the interview. I got good feedback, and not only did I get the job, they give me a pay rise, for example. So I want you to take your time in doing that. So whatever it is, I want you to play out those 3 scenarios, okay? And then after that, it's about writing what is the likely outcome that is going to happen. Out of those 3 that you have written, I want you to go through each scenario and be like, well, is this 100% the honest, absolute, goddamn truth? Is that 100% going to happen? Is it 100% going to happen that I'm going to have my skirt tucked into my knickers? Well, no, it's not. Is it 100% true that I'm going to start crying in the interview? Well, it's a possibility, but it's not 100% true that I'm going to do that. And I want you to do that and think to yourself and ask yourself that question throughout the whole of those 3 columns. And then once you've realised what the likely outcome is going to be, so for me, the likely outcome, right, that I'm thinking in my head could possibly be that, I do absolutely fine in the interview, but I still don't get offered the job. Okay, so that to me could be the likely outcome that I'm thinking at that time, which is certainly better than the first worst outcome of thinking that I'm going to make an absolute fool of myself and that my pants are going to be stuck in my skirt, for example. So it's a better outcome. And what I want you to think here is like, because I've realised this, am I going to be a bit more likely to apply for the job? Well, yes, I probably am going to be a bit more likely to go for that job. However, am I 100% going to still go for that job? Probably not, because I've still got reservations about that. I still think that I'm not going to get the job. So then what we're going to do here is because we've already realistically planned it all out in our head of what's actually going to happen, we want to come up with some suggestions. We want to come up with some, possible things that we can look at to maybe not prevent things happening, but have like a bit of a backup plan. So for me, for that likely outcome of, that I do absolutely well in the interview, but then, maybe I still don't think that I'm going to get the job. What could I do about that part of it? So maybe I could do some research and, try and invest in a coach. Maybe there's a coach that could really help me with that. Maybe it's finding somebody that can work on my confidence, because maybe it's my self-confidence in myself, because there's nothing to say that I'm 100% not going to get the job. It's just my belief that I'm not going to get the job. So maybe I could think to myself, right, okay, so this is the possible outcome, but because I believe that I'm not going to get the job, let's dig a bit deeper here. Let's, work out why I don't think I'm going to get that job and where this belief is coming from, and let's get rid of it. Maybe it could be listening to a confidence hypnosis. I've actually got one of those on my platform, so it's free as well. So if confidence is an issue for you right now and you wish that you was more confident, even just to be more confident to apply for a job, like that, honestly, it'll be an absolute game changer. It's going to be perfect for you. And I've had a client that gave me some feedback from listening to my confidence hypnosis that's on this platform, and she actually got a job from listening to that hypnosis. So feel free to go, download it and listen to it. Make sure you listen to it at least 21 days. And honestly, it's going to help rewire all these beliefs that you've got about yourself on a subconscious level, which it'll instantly help you to start showing up more confidently. So, these are the things that I could possibly be putting into place that are going to start helping me start thinking more positively of, well, actually, yeah, I do stand a chance of getting this job. There's nothing to say that I'm definitely not going to get this job. And then now ask yourself that question, am I now more likely to go do that thing? Well, yeah, I will be. So can you see how just doing this strategy can help you overcome whatever it is that you're putting off, or whatever it is that's holding you back? Honestly, it's an absolute game changer. It's really, really helped me. And like I said, I'd never teach anything that I never thought would work for somebody, or if I'm not prepared to do it for myself, because that's just not me. And honestly, it'll be a game changer for you, because just think of all the things that, the opportunities that you've missed out on, the things that you're putting off, all because, yes, our brain is trying to keep us safe, but actually our brain is just stopping us from growing into the person that we're meant to be. Our brain is keeping us trapped in procrastination and, fearing the complete worst, which obviously I've mentioned before in the other episodes that, yes, we do need to have certain fear and anxiety to a certain extent to stop us from walking out into a busy road. But for things like this, like applying for a job, there's nothing scary that's going to happen with that. Yes, we may not get the job, but if we go in there with a better attitude and a more growth mindset of, a growth mindset would be in that situation that, yes, you didn't get the job. However, it could be, well, what could I learn from that? Well, how can I grow as a person? And always trying to think that, see the positive in things rather than, oh, I didn't get the job. Maybe you were not meant to get the job. Maybe there was something more better out there. That's happened to me loads of times. I've always beaten myself up before of, not being given the job that I really wanted to go for, or, not being in a relationship with somebody that I thought that I was meant to be in. And then lo and behold, something better has just been around the corner. A job that's given me more money, or a relationship that's been more fulfilling, or I didn't get the house that I wanted, but that's because I was never meant to get the house, because I was meant to get a different house. So it's always about thinking about, maybe just taking that pressure off yourself of, if it's meant to be, it will be, because what's meant for you is not going to pass you. And when we can start having that perspective of life and understanding that, yes, we don't always get what we want, but we get what we need in that moment. So what I mean by that is, what we think that we may want in actual reality may not be the best thing for us. And sometimes we're just getting what we need. So I'll use this as an example for you, so just so you can understand. So at the time of this recording, I've actually been single for 3 years. I have dated casually on and off, and for me, this is the longest period of my time where I have been single. And I am so blessed and I feel so grateful for the fact that I've been given this opportunity to stay single for this long, because it's really helped me to understand and have a better relationship with myself. Because not only do I now realize what my needs are, but I can also meet my own needs. I can also start to identify, what is wrong with myself and like where areas that I need to improve on. And I've just become a better version of myself. Whereas before, I wasn't able to do that because I had this deep need of wanting to feel loved, wanting to feel accepted. So that meant I would jump from one relationship to another relationship. And that for me, it wasn't healthy, because not only were I not getting I were getting my needs met, but in a really cheap, horrible way, but I was actually attracting the wrong kind of people into my life. So I wasn't getting what I actually wanted, but I was getting what I needed, because I needed to realize that it wasn't right. It wasn't the right relationship. And I wasn't in the best relationship with myself, because that is the best relationship that you can possibly have, the one with yourself. When you can start showing up for yourself in the way that you want to be shown, the way that you want others to show up for you, that is where the game changes. Because when you can start putting yourself first and start meeting your own needs and having those boundaries in place, that's when other people start to respect you. That is when other people will start to say, like, damn, like this girl or this boy is showing up completely differently. And honestly, people treat you with they treat you so differently because they know that you're not open for any BS. I no longer now feel as if I have got to be in a relationship with somebody. I am more than happy. In fact, I did it in April last year. I walked away from a situation where I was like, my intuition here is telling me like this is not good. There's loads of red flags. And I actually ended and walked away. Whereas that version of me, 2-3 years ago, would not have done that. That version of me would have stayed in that relationship knowing that there were so many red flags, and it just really wasn't a healthy relationship at all. In fact, it just made me feel more insecure. He made comments about like I'd look way more prettier if I wore loads of makeup, for example. And at the time I was like, no, I wouldn't. And I said that I don't feel the need to wear loads of makeup anymore, which I don't. The old version of me, the 18-year-old version of me, honestly, I used to slap my face with loads of makeup because I always felt as if I needed to have that makeup to feel more beautiful, but whereas now I don't. So I would have never have spoken up like that going back all those years ago. Whereas now, because I've developed a more better connection with myself, I can actually confidently say that I'm so happy and grateful that I am in a space now where I don't feel as if I have to be in a relationship. I'm quite happy being self sufficient, I'm quite happy being on my own, and I truly believe that the right person is going to come into my life at the right time. And it's just about being, finding the positive in everything. So many people could see it as a doom and gloom thing that, oh, I've been single for 3 years and I'm never going to find anybody. And yeah, don't get me wrong, there has been like a couple of occasions where I have dipped into that and I've had to pull myself back out because I'm like, no, that is not true. That is not 100% the goddamn truth. The truth is, I don't have to be in a relationship with anybody. I can hold myself back and be like, actually, this doesn't serve me. So then I know that when the right relationship comes into my life, I'm going to be so grateful because I know that I've held out and I've stayed, positive of the fact that I am going to meet somebody. And whether or not that takes another 1 month, whether or not it takes another year or 10 years, I know that I've been true to myself, and in the process, I've had a better connection with me. And that, honestly, that is the best thing that you can ever have. And by doing this inner work, the things that I'm teaching you, this is all of the start of having a better connection with yourself. So, on that note, I am finally going to say it's a ta-ra from now. I have absolutely loved giving you all of this training. Please stick to doing the strategies, because these are, honestly, just doing these alone, you're going to have so many insights. It's going to help you to be able to thrive. If you implement these, you don't have to invest in a course. I'm not saying you must invest in a course. Obviously, if you invest in a course, that's absolutely amazing. And I'm absolutely going to celebrate with you, because you're taking the next steps to truly embodying, the next level version of you that can really thrive. But, you have got so many tools and strategies here that are going to still help you going forward regardless. So thank you so much for allowing me to do this podcast for you. I hope you have really enjoyed it as much as I have enjoyed recording it. And until the next time, I will see you very soon. And remember, if you want to purchase the Transformatics course, again, I will put the link in this module for you underneath here, so you can go have a look. If you purchase it in full, you get full access to Glow Up for absolutely free, which is worth £299. Or you can also purchase Glow Up separately. And again, I will put that link in here for you, so you can go have a look. But until the next time, I will love you and leave you. And remember, never stop investing in yourself and becoming the best version of you. Bye for now, my friend.